Hello again, everybody. Along with Kenyon Murray, I'm Ron Thulin. These two teams split the season series, both winning a couple of games. But Kenyon, when you look at this Iowa team now, it is a completely different team because it is obvious they have lost their top 4 scorers from those set of games. 3 of those players going on to the NBA. Johnson, Jefferson, Blakely now playing in the NBA. So that brings up the question, who has helped them this year and who must step up tonight to fill that gap?
Well, the rock for Iowa has been Curtis Stinson all season long, and recently named the 2010-2011 MVP for the Development League. Curtis Stinson has continued to raise his level of play in order for Iowa to get to where they're at, but he's going to need some teammates to step up if they want to bring home the championship.
Absolutely. Now, Rio Grande Valley, they have had 23 players on their roster, but they've had a core of players that have kept things together, and it all starts with Jarrell McNeil.
Well, Jarrell McNeil, he's been the lead Viper for them this season, and he's upped his all-star play here in these playoffs. He's upped his scoring average. He's upped his assist average, but just like Curtis Stinson, Jarrell McNeil is going to need some of his teammates to step up, and he's had plenty of help to get him here to the final.
Well, if you like offense, you're going to like this game because in 3 of the 4 regular season games, the winning team scored at least 135 points. We got the Vipers and the energy coming up next on Versus. We talked about in the open.
Well, we know both these teams are going to run a lot of sets, but it'll be interesting to see who gets out and attacks early.
Bay gets away from Haynes. They're going to call it a charge.
And that's a great step over by Vandermeer on the defensive side, but if you're Coach Finch, you like to see Mohamed Faye going and attacking the glass like he did there. He'd been settling for his outside shot, but there he put it on the floor, and Vandermeer stepping over, easily making it outside of that circle.
Oral Roberts, his first 2, and that's a good sign also for Iowa.
Definitely a good sign. We know we're going to have some other guys step up, and we saw him working on that shot tirelessly today and shoot around, able to knock down his first attempt.
McNeil's first shot off the Haynes faces up. Vandermeer, a little baby hook shot, can't get it to go. Janning tracks it down.
And that's a shot Vandermeer's got to make. He's only shooting 47% from the field because he's been predominantly a perimeter shooter here in these playoffs.
But quickly, Iowa comes right back and answers.
Well, you said we hope the referees have their track shoes on because these teams like to get it up and down. Probably a contrasting style from the last playoff series for Rio Grande Valley with Reno. These guys are very, very similar, so we're going to see a lot of
them to push off.
Iowa right back on the attack, but both these teams, when they have to, can be very deliberate. But the one thing we know, these coaches know each other very well, so it'll be interesting to see who can execute against one another here tonight. And that's what Coach Finch said in the open. He wanted them to attack him because he knows Iowa is very, very vulnerable in transition. And you see Vandermeer trying to get back, not to fleet us a foot, and they're able to get him off and finish inside. And Mohamed Faye going to the basket here early, not settling for the jump shots. That's a good sign for the Vipers. And you look at him take that shot with confidence, but once again, he attacks off the dribble. As a slasher, you want to get to the basket to get some confidence, and they're able to settle in, knock down the wide open 3-point basket.
Mohamed Faye already with 6 in the ball position. Here comes Iowa.
4 on 2. Got to knock it down.
Danny Hambe this time able to knock it home.
Well, we know he'd be one of the guys that they would have to have knockdown shots, and there you say, missing his last 3, but able to convert.
Caught up with Iowa head coach Nick Nurse.
Well, Coach, a frantic pace here. What do you guys have to do to slow it down and get it back to your tempo?
Well, I expected a fast pace. 2 teams that love to score. I thought we got some pretty good shots, really similar to the ones they got. They got a little bit more at the rim than we did. I think we make a couple of those. It's probably tied in the upper 30s right now.
Well, I know Vandermeer foul trouble. Are you going to look to get him back here in the second quarter?
Yeah, we'll get him in there. We'll get him in there. He's a really important part of us protecting the basket, so we'll get him back in there.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Gas right now. Pointed over to Coach Nurse on the sideline, and it looks like Shai Eli is going to come in and give him a break.
We had one of the playoff games where he played 48 minutes, and Chris Finch, the head coach of Rio Grande Valley Vipers, he knows that Stinson doesn't come out very often, and he's at the line now. 35 of 37 now in the playoffs from the stripe.
Well, check that. Eli's not coming in for Curtis Stinson.
No, Stinson probably waved him off and said, I want to stay in. Vandermeer comes back in, and once again, he's playing with 2 personal fouls. And Shai Eli, number 11, 6'4", 6'5" out of Evansville has come into the lineup for Iowa.
And Curtis Stinson for the playoffs is 36 out of 38 from the free throw line. He gets there almost as often as Jarrell McNeil.
He might as well take it. Hayes is starting to come alive offensively. Ball away, air ball.
And there actually Connor Ashley's length got the Haynes on that shot.
Nice pass, Channing to Ashley, no basket, they're saying. 53-59 at halftime. Along with Kenyon Murray, I'm Ron Thune. Good to have you with us. That was a track meet. We expected it because we said at the top of the show, in 3 of the 4 victories this year in the regular season between these two teams, it was 135 points or more for the winner.
Yeah, they both got out to great starts there in the first quarter. RGV was exceptional from the perimeter and attacking off the dribble, but then Iowa in the second quarter really started to knock down some perimeter shots. They switched up on their defense and was able to get back in the game in that second quarter.
Well, let's take you back to some of the highlights from the first 24 minutes of play, and it was a dandy at that. We talked about Iowa and what they did.
Well, Iowa really got off to a great start, driving and kicking, but it was that second quarter where they really got comfortable. Curtis Stinson inside and Hambe outside, knocking down a perimeter 3. Iowa really got back in that second quarter. And then for Rio Grande Valley, once again, they got off to a great start. Roby knocking down the 3 early on, and McNeil dribble penetrating. I thought they did a great job of getting to the basket in the first quarter, but then Iowa switching up their defense in the second quarter, really stymied what they did off
Kirschfield. Iowa with the ball first, a little pressure put on by Rio Grande Valley. We thought we'd see a little bit more of that at the start of the basketball game, but we really haven't seen it.
Well, I don't think either team has been able to establish that because the shots have been going up so fast. No one's been able to really get back, and we saw how in that second quarter both teams were struggling to stay in front of each other defensively, and if you press, you expend more energy, and I don't think either team wanted to do that.
On the inside, Fay tried to save it, but it belonged to Iowa.
And their Haynes, great look inside, not able to finish it. Those are those layups that they have to convert when they get an easy look like that.
Here we take a look at Nick Nurse. He's got 4 players in double figures on his squad right now. These guys never panicked when they trailed by 14 in the second quarter.
No, they haven't. They came out here in the third quarter as well and reestablished the pace. We saw a frantic pace in the first half, but the second half of the second quarter, Iowa really settled into what they wanted to do. And here early in the third, they've really established that they're going to run their sets, slow the game down, and then what that allows is when they get good looks at the basket, it allows their defense to come back and get set. And they've been able to force RGV into an 0 for 7. And Stinson last time down, a little upset with Vandermeer not coming over and running the play like he was supposed to.
Joe, we saw Roby, who came off the bench. This is how he battles inside.
Yeah, they're a great position there, using his athleticism to go over the top, and a nice touch there over the outstretched arm of Vandermeer. Roby, that instant offense.
A moment ago, Kenyon caught up with Chris Finch of Rio Grande Valley.
Coach, easy question. What do you guys have to do here in the fourth quarter to get back into this?
Well, we got to respond to the physicality of the game right now. We're not really doing a good job of handling that.
Well, I think it looks like Iowa has really gone deliberate in their sets. Is there anything that you guys can do defensively to get that change for you guys here in the fourth?
Well, actually, I think, you know, they're really, it's our missed shots or weak finishes are leading to runouts. That's where they're really hurting us.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks a lot.
Well, Moses Ahambe is going to shoot a technical foul at halftime, 2 of 5. He'll try it again from the outside, and he gets the home rim roll.
And they're able to get that roll, but shot once again short. So you still look at getting into the legs. Iowa's done a good job of getting into the legs of the shooters for Rio Grande Valley.
Well, look at physical play of Iowa. Shy Eli is hammered hard by Janning, and he'll go to the line.
And they're just coming over. Shire did a really good job of staying in front of him. Looked like Eli was going to have a tough shot, and it was that aggressive double team that led to the foul call.
Absolutely.
Not giving up the easy play, because it's been plays like that have gotten Iowa this league. I'm pretty sure Coach Nurse is making sure that they earn every basket they get inside.
Twitter.com/NBA D-League. You said that was a good timeout by Nick Nurse. Why?
Well, I think the last 3 possessions, they didn't really get anything out of them. It looked like it was a little bit more one-on-one. So I think what Iowa has shown is coming out of timeouts, they usually get a good set play. So a good time for him to get everybody back in, to get them settled down and say, hey, this is the last 8.5 minutes. Let's go down and execute. So look for Iowa to come out of here with a nice set play.
I don't think we've given him a whole lot of credit tonight for what he's done defensively.
No, he has. He's done a good job. And we saw Jon Scheyer do another. In the last series, he did a great job on Marcus Landry as well. So when those guys try to get physical with him at 6'5", he can use his size against them, and he's not easily bullied in the post by a Curtis Stinson. So Jon Scheyer, good job on Stinson, but I think it's also taken away from his offense.
Play on the other. And the lead is down to 9.
And that's where Rio Grande Valley was good in the first quarter, attacking the rim and getting inside the lane, finishing over the Iowa defenders.
12-5 run now. Iowa Energy Fever has swept over Des Moines, Iowa. And tonight, in front of the largest crowd in D-League history, the Energy look to win their first title as they face the defending champion Rio Grande Valley Vipers, who are in a must-win situation. Welcome to the D-League, tonight presented by TurboTax. Hello again, everybody. Along with Kenyon Murray, I'm Ron Thulin. Now, Iowa won Game 1 on Sunday by 17, despite the fact Rio Grande Valley led by 14 in the first half. But in that first half, even though RGV had the big lead, I got a funny feeling the oil light started blinking midway through the second.
Well, it started blinking and it stalled, and it was in that second quarter into the third quarter where the Iowa Energy really took hold of this game. And you see here by the statistics that it was shooting that really failed the Vipers there in that third quarter, and Iowa took a stranglehold on this game. And for RGV, they're going to have to do what they did early in that game, attack the rim, get to easy baskets, and then kickouts for three-point shots.
Well, let's talk about Iowa, because they did a lot of the little things in Sunday's game, like getting the loose balls, transition baskets, drawing charges. But also what stood out is the fact they had consistent scoring. Kenyon, they had 6 guys in double figures. The starters shot over 50%. Curtis Stinson had a triple-double. Stefan Hanna had a great game. Everybody played well, but if you want to look for a couple of stars, I think you have to point to the defensive end from Sunday.
Well, defense starts with Scott Vandermeer, and he was tremendous in the second half. Saddled by foul trouble in the first half. Vandermeer came in and was a presence inside the lane. 7 blocks, all in the second half. He took 5 charges. It started with the big fella inside, and his defense was able to trigger offense, and the direct benefactor of that was Stefan Hanna. Hanna was able to get inside the lane in the transition. He was able to knock down open three-pointers, and he and Vandermeer are going to have similar games, if not better tonight, if Iowa wants to close out and win a championship on their home floor here tonight.
Well, 1 year ago tonight, Rio Grande Valley won a D-League title. Now they're facing elimination. But that could be good news for Rio Grande Valley. They're 5-0 in elimination games, 2-0 this year. Can they extend this series one more game, or will Iowa take home the title tonight? Coming up next, it's the D-League championship game from Des Moines, Iowa.